that election, which is now just 20 days away. Just 20 days until the federal election. 3 weeks and counting. We are almost at the halfway period, as we will be about Tuesday, Wednesday of this week. 9 days until the first votes are cast. They would be cast next Monday, but because of the holiday Monday and Easter, it is 9 days away. Not this, but next Tuesday. This week, we will start to see the how to vote cards. This week, we will start to see the preferences. This week, we will know how many people are running in certain seats, and we can start to put together the picture of what may or may not happen in 20 days from now. Both of the parties had major campaign launches. Normally these are saved until the very last minute, and that's for organisational reasons, but also it's to get a big blast before election day. But as you know, early voting, half of people all vote early, so now you've got to get the big bang in before. They wouldn't do it on Easter Sunday, so that puts it forward to today. In Perth, the Prime Minister had his formal launch for a second term in office. Now, remember the history that Albo is playing for. If he is re-elected, then he'll be the first Prime Minister to be re-elected in this country since 2004. The first Prime Minister to go to 2 elections, to win back-to-back elections. That's huge history. The first of the Labor Party since 1993. Now, I think this bloke is not the person who should be getting that place in history, but the polls seem to suggest that is what is about to happen. But nothing is inevitable. Now, for his announcements today, well, there were lots of people who were out and about, and before they got to anything they were going to do, there was another person on their list. Remember, this is the Labor Party launch. Put simply, it's their advertorial. And if you turned on to the morning show, you wouldn't see advertorials that mentioned the other product this much.
Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton,
Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, 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 Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, Peter Dutton, 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 Peter Dutton.
Before I tell you about this cup, can I tell you about this other cup? Oh, this other cup, this cup before this cup, this, and you go, hang on, I thought you were trying to sell me this one. And yes, I know they both look kind of the same. That's the point for many Australians right now. Now, one of the first decisions this government made was to get rid of the low to middle income tax offset. I've been the only person in Australian media who has relentlessly, for 3 years, banged on about this being a terrible decision. Because while it was a COVID-era policy, it should have been kept all the way through these past 3 years. And that was an automatic tax return for people. And this amount of money previously was $1,500. The Libs say it's going to be $1,200. And Albo now says that it's going to be $1,000. Now, this policy matters. And it really matters because, according to Finder, the finance website, 43% of people in this country, 34% of people in this country use their tax return to pay for a major bill. And while there's plenty of people who have major bills that are much bigger than $1,000 or $1,200, for an awful lot of people in Australia, that $1,000 could clear a credit card. That $1,200 could pay for a couple of bills. It could mean you might be able to go and buy a new appliance. You might be able to do something to fix up the car. It might take the pressure off the family that little bit when you have no other money to borrow. That's why this policy should be there, because the single largest source of revenue to the federal government is the average worker. Pay as you go. It's not company tax, it's not excise, it's not the GST. It's not money from multinationals, and it's not from mining companies. It's from you and me, the people who pay their tax weekly, fortnightly or monthly because we work for somebody else. Now, I think the Prime Minister did this because they got wind that the Liberal Party was going to do it. The Liberal Party's going to do it because, in part, we have kept that campaign going for 3 years. So you know what? I don't care about the credit. I just care that people who need it will have $1,000 coming back or $1,200 coming back, whoever forms government, and that's going to help millions of people across the country. Here's the PM's version.
Today I announced that a re-elected Labor government will create a new $1,000 instant tax deduction.
Great. I said I'd praise them if they did it at $1,500. I wish it was $1,500, but they've put it at $1,000. Now, this is a very good policy because it puts money in the hands of the people who need it. I don't understand why it's not means-tested, but it goes from the people at the very top all the way to the people who need the money more at the very bottom. But a bigger and better offering comes from the coalition. I'll get to that in a moment's time. But I know that there are people who are willing to vote somewhere for the first time if it's a way of getting towards a system where people are going to be able to buy their first house. The Labor Party version of this is that they want to say that if you're a first home buyer and you buy something about the median level of price in your capital city or local country town, that you can do it with just a 5% deposit. The difference will not be made up for the government, but essentially the government will go as the guarantor. The government will end up spending billions of dollars on a form of home loan insurance. Now, this is a dodgy policy if people end up defaulting on their loans. Low doc, low deposit home loans cause massive problems in the United States. But if you're somebody who thinks that the deposit is the problem, well, Albo's trying to sell to you.
Today I announced that under a Labor government you'll be able to buy your first home with just a 5% deposit.
Now, ignore those who only count the election promises and spending from the start of the election. Those are the ones that want to make it look like the Libs are spending like drunken sailors. Remember, the Prime Minister has been making election promises since January.
A $7.2 billion announcement today, $5 million, $10 million, $200 million, $3 billion, $350 million, $2 billion, $37 million, $842 million, $2.4 billion, $8.5 billion, $4.8 billion, $1 billion, $3.4 billion, $2.8 billion, $200 million, $150 million, $1 billion, $245 million, $6 million, $3 million, $10 billion.
Now, we know the way it's been going, but there is a very good chance that either we're still at a stop the bleeding moment for the coalition, or if people are still genuinely undecided, they might start thinking about the coalition. Because if there are voters that are exclusively going off price, exclusively focused on the number one issue that has been there for the past 3 years, cost of living, Peter Dutton made big announcements today. Again, that automatic tax return, and this one, again, for millions of people. But this one is able to be $1,200 as an automatic tax return because everyone earning under $175,000 gets it. For Labor, it's everyone above $175,000 as well. Peter Dutton with what I think is a game changer. And again, if it's a Me Too election, if both of them are agreeing that you deserve, and certainly the people who need the money more than most, some form of automatic payment back each and every year, great, excellent, high five.
A coalition government will deliver a one-off cost of living tax offset. This will reduce the amount of tax paid by millions of Australians, and it will be up to $1,200. Around 85% of all Australian taxpayers will be eligible for and will benefit from this reduction in tax.
Brilliant. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, if you're somebody who thinks that the issue when it comes to kids getting their first home is being able to afford the mortgage in those early days, well, this is the pitch that the coalition is going to go at. They are saying that the interest payments on a loan for the first few years of the average first home buyer in this country, well, you can deduct that off your tax bill.
A coalition government will allow you to deduct interest payments on the first $650,000 of a mortgage against your taxable income.
Brilliant. Now, they say there's no choices, they're all the same. No, there are choices here, okay?